won't stop till I hear him say,
Warning: the information that we convey in these videos and the content on this page simply provides general consumer information. It is not legal advice or regulatory guidance. It is not intended to sway your personal bias in any way. We are simply just relaying information already available to the general public. We highly suggest you do your own research and draft your own opinion on the topics disclosed in this video breakdown. Without further ado, sit back, relax, enjoy this video breakdown, and if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, consider doing so now. Okay, what is going on, CYPRX advanced YouTubers? Welcome back to the CYPRX YouTube page. In today's video breakdown, you guys are not going to want to miss this video. I have a very special guest for you all. Today, I interviewed Crypto Lulu. If you guys aren't already subscribed to his YouTube channel, he provides great XRP intuitive utility research. I highly suggest that you guys go and give him a follow. Shout out to Crypto Lulu for coming on this interview. Make sure that you guys stick around for the entire video. Very interesting and intuitive questions that I asked him and that we discussed in today's video breakdown. If you guys aren't already subscribed to the CYPRX YouTube channel, make sure that you do so now. Give this video a thumbs up. We do appreciate the love and the support. Comment in the description down below any other videos or any other influencers that you would love to see us interview here at CYPRX. As always, blessings to you guys. I will see you guys in the next video breakdown. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy this interview. And as always, be cognizant, be aware, and I will see you guys next time. All right, what is going on, CYPRX advanced traders? I hope that everybody is having an amazing day today. In today's video breakdown, we have a special guest for you all. But before I introduce our guest, remember that nothing that we constitute in today's video breakdown is financial advice, okay? Crypto is an emerging asset class and is extremely risky and volatile. Therefore, we highly suggest that you do your own personal research and draft your own bias before investing in this market. Obviously, of course, to each his own, okay? Today, I'd like to welcome our guest, Crypto Lulu. He is a very intuitive crypto researcher who has a particular interest in utility-driven assets. If you, ladies and gentlemen, don't already subscribe to him on YouTube, I will personally send out a link in the Discord chat so that way you guys can do so. Make sure that you guys go help him out on his YouTube journey by searching Crypto Lulu and smashing that subscribe button. I'm sure that he does appreciate it, and we do here so as well at CYPRX. So before we get started, I just wanted to discuss how I was first personally introduced to Crypto Lulu's content. It was kind of funny in a way. Unfortunately, at first, it was in a negative way. I'm sure that if you guys watch on the YouTube channel, which I'm sure that some students do, some students don't, I was introduced to Crypto Lulu's content in a negative way. So if you are an XRP holder, then most likely you know that a lot of people lack the ability to do their own personal research. And usually they always have something ignorant to say about people who do actual in-depth XRP research. So when I first came across Crypto Lulu's content, it was actually off of a TikTok video that one of you students sent me. And it was some guy on TikTok. I'm not too entirely sure what that man's TikTok name was. But it was him knocking Crypto Lulu's research, talking about how Ripple and XRP has nothing to do with the Rtgs and Chaps system. Now, personally, I am a deep intuitive XRP research. I've been involved in XRP since 2016, 2017, and I have documents dating back from 2015 where Ripple literally states that they are in partners with Rtgs and the Chaps system. Okay, so immediately when I saw that video, I said to myself, I'm not going to let a intuitive XRP research like Crypto Lulu go down in the books for being laughed at and mocked because somebody wants to be ignorant to the content that he's providing. So I went out and I drafted a research video, just pretty much disproving what this gentleman was saying about Crypto Lulu's research, disproving what they were trying to disprove from Crypto Lulu's perspective, showing people that Ripple is in fact integrated with the Rtgs and Chaps system and the documentation surrounding that. Okay. Lou, are you good? You want to say anything to the people before I go ahead and ask you the first question? You want to maybe introduce yourself or say hi to everybody? What's going on, brother? How are you?
Look, I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to be here. There's two things I want to say really. One was just the appreciation for you and to responding to that guy, because I kind of didn't want to give him the light of day because of how ridiculous the debunk attempt was. So I had left it, and then you came in to kind of save the day. And when you did, I didn't realize the weight that was on my shoulders from that video until you left. So I really appreciate that. And then secondly, you are one of the rare people who actually tag people when you talk about them on a video. Recently, my social medias have gone crazy, growth from all angles. And I've had about 10 to 12 notable channels have me on their screen, and none of them credited me. But you were one of those who did and does. So you're a good guy for that.
Yeah, man, no problem. Here at CYPRX, brother, we're just trying to enlighten people. There's a lot of misconceptions in the cryptocurrency and the forex market, which we predominantly trade here at CYPRX, and we're just trying to be that light at the end of the dark tunnel, man. There's a lot of there's a lot of people leading people in the wrong direction, and here at CYPRX, we're attempting to make a statement where people can really come into a community and believe in their mentor, and believe in the program and the influence that we're having on individuals. So I'm happy that we could help, man. So we'll jump into these questions so that way we don't keep people too long. Again, like I said, a series of 8 questions, simple. Just draft your bias, and then we'll go ahead and we'll just chit chat about the questions. So first one that I have for you is, what led you on your journey towards becoming a crypto investor, in the sense of who or what introduced you or caught your attention? Okay, and this is kind of a 2-part question. And then the last part is, how did your journey start? And then finish off with how long you've been involved in the space.
So I have to say that there was 2 levels to that answer. The first level is like the classic beginner entrance story, where you enter in the hype of a previous cycle.
Of course.
You lose, you learn lessons, and then you're basically spending the whole bear market learning kind of what you should do from
losing drastic amounts of money, but yes, learning at the same time.
And unfortunately, that's the way it has to go, really. And it makes sense when, you know, the hysteria around crypto is in like 2017, 2018. That gets the majority of people in, that gets the majority of the people wrecked. And then you spend the rest of the bear market learning. And so that was my story to start with, but completely led by news articles. What I was most familiar with hearing, like Bitcoin, makes me want to.
Everybody is.
But hearing Bitcoin, hearing Ethereum, thinking, oh, this is it. I'm just gonna ape in there, and that's going to be good. And then bear market hits, and you go, oh wait, maybe I should know some more stuff first. And then as we move into kind of 2020, that's when the real, actually, the use case assets, the utility assets are, I now understand the space enough to where I can see what the utility actually can do in real life, or in across the globe. So it's the classic origin story: Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Yeah, for sure.
And then start to get into the
I definitely share a similar scenario. Bitcoin and actually Ethereum. The first time I purchased Ethereum was about $900, and I saw it. You know, I got to experience the run up to above $3,500 per coin, and that started to lead me to more intuitive and in-depth research. Once, not necessarily XRP and utility-driven assets became mainstream, but when they became more talked about amongst the general public, and that led me to really start to say, okay, hey, look, this cryptocurrency thing isn't going away, and to make a living from this, you really have to dive deep into the research and support your ideology behind why you're investing into this market space, because it is, like you said in the beginning, it's definitely a learning curve, and if you don't believe in what you're doing in this market, then it can definitely fudge you out, and inevitably that leads to the loss of capital, and that's unfortunate, but it's the truth. So thanks for that answer. We'll go into number 2. What is your perspective of Web3 and blockchain, short term and long term, and where do you think the cryptocurrency industry is headed in the future?
So short term, I feel like for the general public, it's going to feel very slow. I feel like that the metaverse thing, I don't really think it's going to take off until we have like everyone's wearing VR goggles. Just don't see it. So that's going to be on the back burner. Gaming will be big.
Yeah.
I tend to struggle to answer short-term questions because my view is very long-term.
For sure, absolutely. If that's the type of investor you are. So
the short-term, I've been proven wrong so many times for short-term things. You can't really predict the short term, but where my bag is, my wheelhouse is in the long term. And when you're talking about blockchain long term, it's going to be absolutely everything. It's going to be the way the financial system operates. It's going to be the way the housing market operates. It's going to be absolutely integrated completely. There won't be an area of business and the world that isn't touched by blockchain. And it's really almost like just pick your niche, focus on that niche, and try and squeeze the most out of it that you can. Because it's you literally can't focus on everything because you can't take that much information in. It's kind of so big that you kind of have to niche down. And I think that first tipping block in the row of dominoes for blockchain is the money side of things.
For sure. I like that. I might quote that, pick your niche and stick to that. I think a lot of people that come into this space as a beginner, there's just so much information out there that number one is misguided. And then at the same time, you have meme coins, you have NFTs, you have the metaverse, you have real estate, you have the legality side of things where lawyers are using contracts in the form of NFTs. And then also you have utility driven assets. So that's a good quote right there, is pick your niche, stick to it, do your research, have a handful of cryptocurrencies, diversify, and, stay in your lane. And then also I can definitely correlate with the whole short-term perspective and long-term perspective, because here at CYPRX, the predominant majority of us, we are intraday traders. So we actually trade the market. That's something that I reiterate to my my supporters and my followers, is that you need to determine what type of trader you are. Are you an intraday trader or are you an investor? And there's a difference between the two. And I think that beginners coming into the space, they lack the ability to differentiate. That's a hard word to say. And that gets people wrecked because, they watch these bullish moon boys who have these, these major insane price predictions. And we get that. We all want those price levels to come under fruition, but that's going to be 2025, 2027, 2030, 2040 agenda. And a lot of people that don't do their research, they get misled by that mentality and they get wrecked, And so I can agree with you on that short-term perspective versus the long-term perspective. So
I think the problem is that when you are new to the space, you automatically think I'm a trader now. And actually that's, you've already kind of spoken that into existence when it's not actually, may not actually be the case.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Just buy crypto doesn't mean you're a trader now.
100%. So 100%. And a lot of people too come into this space. They don't realize that they don't take into acceptance that they are going to experience a lot of trials and tribulations. So they allow those trials and tribulations to wid them out of the market. They don't have the mental capacity to really stabilize themselves long-term via foothold in this market to actually experience the life-changing wealth, So cool. Great answer, man. Number 3, what crypto projects are your favorite? I know that there's most likely a lot. For me personally, I have a few to name, but name 2, and then why they are your favorite and why they have your interest and what you see for their future.
Yeah, easy question.
For sure.
And XLM. My reason being is that I chose to niche down on finance, the financial system. So I look for utility within that. And when you look at the way the whole world is moving right now, all the large institutions, all the banks, they're moving towards RTGS and HVPS, that's real-time gross settlement and high value payment systems in a blockchain environment. That's like really key. For sure. Because they've been doing RTGS. That means something completely different. But what it means in the context of the future is within the blockchain environment. Mm-hmm. The economy is running out of money. Everyone's running out of money. Banks running out of money. Credit Suisse going down. Bank of England going down. Liquidity is the thing that will rescue the situation.
100%.
So pair those two things together. We're moving into RTGS in a blockchain environment, and we need liquidity. There are only 2 tokens that provide that solve that issue, and that's XRP and XLM. So there are no other tokens that are rooted in liquidity.
Not only, I can completely agree with you, and not only rooted in liquidity, but already have the partnership foothold in the door for the transition. You know, a lot of people that do XRP research, I give kudos to them, although there are some people out there that kind of throw it out the window and they blow it up a little bit more than what it actually is. But you know, even for example, like I just going to McDonald's the other day and swiping my card at McDonald's and seeing the whole the Visa transaction go through and the little check mark that processes, and then seeing right next to it says that they accept Bitcoin. And I'm sitting there and I read an article yesterday that says that Visa is passing out debit and credit cards that are blockchain adaptable. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I just don't understand how people don't see that Visa and MasterCard have partnerships with Ripple, and that it's going to be in the future integrated into the world, and it's going to be so big. You know, a lot of people never really got to experience, especially our age, right? I'm 28. I'm assuming you're in your 30s. A lot of other people in this community are the same age as myself. We didn't really get to experience the internet boom and bust cycle because we weren't old enough to invest. But right now, you know, we're experiencing that type of investment error again, where people don't really realize that it's only going to happen one time. It's only going to happen once. It's never going to happen again. Just like the internet can never be created again. It can only be leveled up. It can only be scaled. You know, it can't be reinvented. And right now, that scale, that level up is blockchain technology integration with the internet, which is Web3. So great answer, man. Number 4, as an investor, given the current market conditions where majority of utility driven assets are 80 to 90% discounted from their all-time highs, how are you personally approaching these markets? Are you positioning yourself now, or are you waiting on the sidelines with capital on reserve with the perspective that the market could go lower? And what is your take on the current market conditions?
I'm loading up.
Sure.
I just look at where, based on just simple math really, and the utility of the coins, the tokens that I'm in. I mean, I've been saying for the last year on my YouTube channel, anything under $1 for XRP is a good deal. And we're just getting a better deal as the price goes down, right?
For sure.
And so I'm consistently buying, and I have no issues doing so, especially with some of the. I'll share it here. I shared this in my members zone as well. I'm part of a group that's a research group. We have some ties with the government in the US as well there. And there's just some really interesting information about this new bill that's going to be passed in the States, where it's not going to allow anyone in Congress to hold crypto assets.
You know what's crazy? I saw that the other day. Yeah.
So that bill is. And a few days ago, we were told by our source, I'm not going to out him, but he said he's seen the resignation papers of multiple members of Congress.
Exactly, and it's going to come too when they sell when they get out of the stock market, and people don't even realize that that's coming.
Yep. So they're leaving their role at Congress just so they can own crypto, and not just that. They're also consolidating their crypto from other tokens into XRP, knowing what's coming. And so with that information paired with the macro perspective of where we are based on, you know, the utility potential, it just makes sense to be accumulating. I don't see any other. I don't care about it being 50 cents or 30 cents. It means absolutely nothing.
I'll capitalize on that. I think I think there's greed on both sides of the market, right? There's people that are greedy in a bull market. There's people that are greedy in a bear market, right? I get messages all the time on my Twitter, and I'm sure you do as well. Where do you think XRP is going? Where do you think XLM is going? What's going to happen the next couple of weeks? Mainly, I do it to myself because I give price predictions on my Twitter. So technically, I set myself up for that type of failure when it comes to people messaging me or inboxing me. However, I think that people need to take into realization who they are as an investor and the volatility that they can personally handle. So if you're the type of person who has capital reserves to pump into the market, number one, obviously, of course, detach yourself from that money. you shouldn't be investing in this market with money that you care about in the first place, because this is a risk on asset class. It's an emerging asset class. Nobody realistically knows where it's going to go in the future. We can all speculate that it's going to go higher, but in the short term, it could definitely 110% go lower. And so if you're pumping capital into this market that you have an emotional attachment to, and it goes down, then you're going to fall victim to emotional instability, and you might get flooded out of this market and lose capital. Where on the same side, if you can invest in this market with capital that you have and you don't care about it, like me personally, my students have seen my crypto portfolio and it's over $50,000. You know, I have a lot of money pumped into this market because I'm a firm believer of the future potential. If I lose all that money right now, I have no emotional attachment to it. You know, people can't handle that mental stability in this market. So if you're an investor listening to this podcast, this Zoom call later on, I'm definitely in accumulation mode. I know the majority of other people are as well. You have to determine, you know, as an investor or a day trader, that prices are in fact 80 to 90% discounted right now, and that you may never have an opportunity, if you're greedy, expecting the market to go lower, to buy at these levels again. And that's a fact, because when this market goes back to the upside, it's gone. It's gone, you know? So good answer, brother. I think that that's a very good perspective to have, is just, you know, making sure that if you're investing in this market right now, you have that mentality of detachment from the money that you're investing in. Number 5. All right. So in my trading journey, personally, I've come to the realization that emotional stability, that's something we were just talking about, is one of the most important aspects of your success as an investor. Given that statement, what has been your most dramatic trading experience, whether it was a positive experience or a negative experience? And then how did you combat those emotions, real quick?
You know, I it's going to be very anticlimactic, this answer, because it's not a lot of money, but it was in the beginning. It was the beginning of when I was learning about trading, when I thought I was a trader, and I went on to, what do you call it? One of those ones where you can short the market. I forgot what the platform was. And I put like $100 in there, and I thought I was the man, because I thought I'm gonna get these moves, and I'm gonna put it on 10x leverage, and I'm gonna win.
Like everybody does.
Exactly. And obviously at the end of this story, the money's gone, but the sinking feeling in my stomach, realizing that, oh, actually, I don't know what's going on. And I had $100 just recently, and now I don't have $100. It's all gone.
For sure.
It wasn't about the amount there. It was the emotional response to realizing that this market will eat me up if I don't get my act together.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think, you know, what's crazy about that story? There's a gentleman here, his name's Spencer, who got to witness my biggest loss in the market. Now, mine was a little bit more than $100. It was $54,000. And Spencer was with me that day and watched how emotionally distraught I became, and walked me through that experience. However, you know, what makes you different and myself different from 90% of other individuals is that we're still here in this market. You see my YouTube channel, the growth that it's superseded, the growth that your YouTube channel is superseded. And with that statement being said, yes, you can lose money in this market, but that's not what makes you a productive and predominant trader in this market. It's how you bounce back from those losses. It's the lessons that you take. It's how you change and mature as an individual when you experience those losses that determines your success in this market. So, you know, whether it's $100 or $54,000, it doesn't matter the amount. It's the ability to overcome the trial and tribulation at the end of it all. So, you know, kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. All right, go ahead.
I severely underestimated in the beginning the power of belief, because you would think that belief and hope are irrelevant when you're talking about this market.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
It's the actual thing that gets you to recover from your losses.
Facts.
Yeah. So yeah, don't underestimate that.
That's absolutely facts. I tell the students all the time that the market does not care about your personal belief. You know, it does not care. It goes up, down, sideways, regardless of what you think it's going to do, and you need to be able to combat that. So cool. All right, number 6. Last three questions. We got, what is a major misconception that people have about the cryptocurrency markets, especially from a beginner's perspective? Just one. Let's name one. What is the most major misconception that you think beginners have coming into this market?
Well, I think it's just that the misconception is that when you come into the market and is that people are going to give you the information you need. I just remember vividly watching, I can't remember who it was, BitBoy Crypto or something like that. And my belief was that he's going to lead the way.
For sure.
Here.
For sure.
Absolutely and completely removing all responsibility from myself. And kind of, we get it on our social medias all the time, probably. People asking questions that are only asked because they haven't researched. And they want the spoon fed to them. I'll tell you a story from my DMs on Instagram. I had a guy message me and he said, love your videos. Can you help me out with this question? Which coins do you think I should be in, or tokens, whatever? And I said, well, look at where we are right now in the economy. What do you think is going to solve it? I was like really mentoring him through it, like really guiding, considering I've got 100 other DMs to be answering. I was voice noting him, spent 6 minutes, just giving one message to him.
For sure. Which you realized probably at the end of it all that it was a waste.
Oh, wait until you hear what he said. I gave him all that information, guiding him without giving him the answer. Do this, search this on Google, do some reading, then come back to me. And his response was, I thought you were just going to give me the tokens. I'm not going to do all the research. That's boring. That's what he.
Yeah, man. I mean, to capitalize on that, when you're an influencer in this space, you come to the realization that 90% of people out there are lazy human beings. And it's not even about laziness. It's about the ability that they lack thereof in the form of taking responsibility of their own financial endeavors. Right off the bat, people are ignorant when it comes to financial education. It's just straight off the bat, regardless of being in the crypto market or not. They don't even know what credit is. They don't know what debt is. They don't know what, they don't know anything about finance, mainly because of our school systems that lack, that type of educational system when we're younger. But I experienced the same thing, man. People coming to me all the time for price predictions, asking me what's in my portfolio. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because when I experience life-changing wealth, the students know that they're going to be probably most likely the only ones that are going to get to experience any of my personal wealth. But everybody that's following me on the internet space, they're not going to benefit from my wealth. They're only going to benefit from the financial choices that they make as individuals. And like you said, going to these BitBoy Crypto is one of them, because I've proven so many of his videos to myself are just incorrect right off the bat.
Yeah.
I even have videos of him as an individual, not to knock or talk crap about anybody on the space, but where he's promoting these coins that are now in the negatives, like so bad that if you put money into that, your money would be completely gone. And people still watch his content in the same hope and aspect of him guiding their financial journey. So great takeaway is to take responsibility for your own financial endeavors. Bottom line, line. Cool answer, man. I like it. So number 7, last 2 questions. In your opinion, what is a good quality trait of a successful crypto, either trader or researcher? And then elaborate that characteristic trait that a good researcher or a good trader should have.
So this is something I've learned in the last year. So obviously this is ongoing. But a level of perfectionism, I think that's the right word. So I'll give an example to highlight the point. When I was learning about Rtgs, somebody told me, go over to the Bank of England website and read the whole website. And I thought, read the whole website of a bank?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it. What I found the most effective method was to go through the website, read every word. Every time I didn't understand a word, I go off on a tangent, I learn that word, start again. By the end of reading that whole the whole Bank of England website, I know how money moves around the world, like literally to a granular level. And so if you have that level of, oh, I'm not going to breeze by that word, and I'm actually going to try and learn about that, and I'll learn about that, and then I'll learn about that. That trait, that trait in me over the last year, having developed, that is the greatest influence on my future wealth.
The ability to have a high teachability index and to actually accumulate information properly and capitalize on the information that you're learning. It's so funny because one of my statements in my posters behind me says, knowledge is only power when implemented properly. You know, I'm sure that people have seen that statement going around, knowledge is power, and then period, that's it. But that's not the case. It's only power when you implement it properly. My students here know, you know, they're well aware of the CYPRX strategy, and it doesn't matter how many times they watch my videos or my content. If they're not in the live market, back testing the strategy, trying it out in the live market, demo accounting it, it's never going to work for them. It's the same with going to the Bank of England website, reading the information. If you're not implementing the knowledge that you're accumulating, what is it doing for you? You know, from my perspective, that's a great answer. What I think is the most important thing from a beginner's perspective that makes someone successful in this market is the ability to have a high belief in themselves to succeed, no matter what the trial and tribulation is that they experience. You know, a lot of people, when they face a wall or a blockade in this market, regardless if it's the learning curve or the ability to be patient with themselves to actually go through the information, like, for example, reading a bank website. I'm 7 years deep into this market, and I do research still to this day. And when I do research, it still blows my mind. And it's because I have a high belief in myself to succeed, not only as a mentor now, but as a day trader, to continuously build myself up, right? There's no level of knowledge that you can accumulate that's the end, right? There's no end to it. You just have to keep growing. Excuse me. You have to have a high belief in yourself to always be better than the day prior, you know, and that's it. So good answer, man. Good answer. I like it. All right, cool. Last question. You made it to the end. What is the most important advice that you could give? Obviously, of course, not financial advice, anybody that's listening, but just the most important little drop gem that you could give to a beginner or a novice investor coming to the space that has zero market information or knowledge at all.
Try to start with a macro perspective.
Sure.
The majority of people that lose and continue to lose, basically all the time, they're focused too closely.
For sure.
I like to try and read larger narratives, even when I'm on a charting system, TradingView or whatever. I'm always on the monthly chart.
For sure.
And actually, even further than that, I don't even focus on tokens or projects that don't have data on a monthly chart for me to see in context.
For sure.
So if I'm not getting into a coin or a token or project that's 6 months old, because the monthly chart on that is not going to be readable. That's why XRP, for me, because it's been around for so long, and Bitcoin, those are all great charts to be paying attention to if you're looking at charts on the monthly. For sure. Because that allows you to keep the emotions out when you're looking at the movements day to day, because when you look at the monthly chart, nothing's changing. And it gives you from the get-go that zoomed out perspective.
For sure. So advice to a beginner perspective trader is zoom out, look at the macro. You know what I like about your answers is that they all triangulate with each other. You know, that answer correlates with the type of investor that you said you are, which is a macro investor. You're a long-term perspective investor, which is great. Something that a lot of people definitely need to determine before they jump into the space, which they failed to do. But like you said at the beginning, it's a learning curve. Whether you decide to default when you make a mistake in this market, or whether you decide to advance and learn from that mistake, is what's going to determine your success. Great interview, man. If you have time and anybody wants to ask any questions, I'll leave the floor open real fast. Maybe we can get 1 or 2 questions. If you're open to that, I don't know if you're good for that. For sure. All right. Maybe we'll go 10, 15 minutes. Anybody have any questions? Maybe if you want to put them in the chat, or just go ahead and openly ask them right now. I'll leave the floor open real fast for you guys.
Cypress, I don't have a question, but I want to finish your story.
Go ahead. Let's hear it, Spence.
So I was there for Cypress's biggest loss, and, you know, emotionally and mentally, I could see it damaging. And then I got to witness him basically reset his brain and then win all his money back the next day. So just thinking about that mental capability that Cypress has as a trader to completely shut out that he just lost so much money and then come back the next day with a clear mind, read the charts, and completely just demolish the next day is the reason why he is a successful trader. And I think that's fantastic.
It's all right here in the name. Superior trader, man. There's nothing in this market that could take the belief in myself to succeed away. And I'm telling you right now, it's mainly because Spencer knows, and I'm sure other people here in this community know, right? I came from a military background. I spent 5 years in the Army. You know, every time that I make a mistake in this market or in my day-to-day life, I compare it to something that I experienced in the military, and nothing that I've experienced thus far as a civilian is as bad as the stuff that I've been through in the military. So to combat that, right, I compare the two. And so if you've ever experienced something drastic or life-changing in your life, always sit back and relax and say to yourself, you know, it could be worse. It could be worse. And if you can come to that realization, then you can get through whatever you're experiencing. But thanks for that, Spencer. I appreciate it, man. You almost brought tears to my eyes because that was a bad day, bro. That was such a bad day.
I thought he was just going to let himself float down our river and not come back.
You know, what's so crazy is I broke my sobriety that day, bro. I got drunk that day. Yeah, it was bad. It was a very emotional day. It was an emotional day. Anybody else have any questions or anything to say before we hop off here? Alrighty. Thank you, Crypto Lou. I appreciate you for showing up, man. At first, I thought that you were gonna flake, but thanks for showing up, man. Great interview, great questions, great answers, and I'll be posting this on the YouTube later on. I'll send you a copy of it so that way you can edit it and finesse it. I know you like to put the subtitles on. That's cool, man. That's cool. So yeah, I'll send you a copy via email. If you just want to send me your email on Twitter, I'll go ahead and get that over to you. Everybody else, blessings to you guys. Thanks for showing up. And I'll talk to you guys probably over the weekend. We'll have a pop-up Zoom call, and I'll see you guys later. Everybody take it easy. Have a good weekend.
Won't stop till I hear him say, la, 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 la.